everybody. Good morning. Oh, I've got glasses on my, glasses. I usually have glasses on my head. Sometimes two pair. Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyways, it's a really nice day today and sunny. And so I'm so excited to get going out in the garden. But since I have to make lunch, you guys can make it with me, and we're going to make some snacks too. So we'll start off like we usually do with cutting the onions. And so I thought I would, a couple people were asking about learning different foods. And so I thought what I would do is introduce you to a couple new things. So we're just going to put these onion peels here and get the onions going and see who's joining us today on this live Facebook. We did I tried to do a Zoom last night and oh my goodness, what a disaster. Actually, the Zoom was okay. It was just trying to combine Facebook Live and Zoom. And so anyway, I need a little more practice at that. But right now, what we're going to do is get these onions happening in here. And onions, our favorite thing for starting soup. And I'll turn that up. And yeah, so I thought we would make some, usually it's a vegetable soup. And hi Jane, good morning. We're making a soup. So I haven't told everybody what kind yet, but we're gonna do start the onions like we always do. Onions in a little bit of water in the pan. So we have not added any oil or anything like that. And so we're going to add some carrots, a couple carrots, and going to cut them a bit on an angle and really thin so that they cook quickly. So of course your carrots are full of vitamin A and really good for everything, especially known for your eyes. The onions are anti-inflammatory, and they are also antihistamine. And so if you have your if you're looking for an antihistamine onion, you want to have the yellow onion because they create more crying than the white or red onions. And so if you have a yellow onion, then that will that'll help you. The tears are what helps you to, hi, good morning, Darlene, good morning. Nice to see you guys. So we're just starting the usual. I know it seems kind of boring with carrots and onions every time. And it's not really, unless it's mushrooms or something else. Yeah, so anyways, yes, we need our vegetables. Like I was saying, we need the vitamins in the carrots. We need all the nutrients in the onions, the anti-inflammatory properties, and then of course with your celery too, with all of the, I'm not going to add a lot of celery because I don't really, that's not what I'm after. Like I think that the first three ingredients, like the onions and the carrots and the celery, that's kind of like my base for a chicken noodle soup, or a chickenless noodle soup, I should say, since we don't eat chicken. But you know, that flavor, like the standard base soup stock, is pretty much onions, carrots, and celery. So what I'm going to add that's super exciting, you guys, is I have garlic scapes from last year. Believe it or not. Hard to believe that I have garlic scapes from last year, but I put them in the fridge and, you know, kind of in a little bit of a semi-open bag, and they are still here and they are still very beautiful and lively. So they're a little tough though, so I'm just going to add them in big pieces because they're way too tough to actually be able to eat. But I want to kind of cut them on a bit of an angle so that the beautiful flavors come out. I have one more. So if you don't know what garlic scapes are, they are awesome. They are the, if you grow your own garlic, and I highly suggest that you do, when the garlic, just before the garlic is ready to harvest, like the long garlic stem, and then it comes up sort of like an onion, and then the scape comes up, and it has like the seed pod at the end. And when they first start coming out, they're really, really tender and really just super, really mild garlic taste and super flavorful. They're just awesome. So I have some collards here. We're going to add collards. I was going to say too with the, I was so busy this morning and I did my hair, so it's very wet. Sorry. I'll apologize for my wet hair now. So the, anyway, collard greens. So we have collards from the garden. They're a little bit eaten by my not good friends, the slugs. So I took them and washed them. All the vegetables are washed. Always wash your vegetables before you put them in the fridge or bring them in from the garden, depending on what kind of pests you have. So we're going to cut up the collards. So we're adding the collards, which are really, really, I've only grown them. This is the second year, and I'm so in love with the whole idea. I don't know what collards and grits means, but I've heard of it, and so I want to check that out. And then I got some information on it because I wanted to know, and so they've I have it written here. The name collard comes from the word colewort, the wild cabbage plant. They've been eaten for at least 2,000 years. And so, yeah, so it's kind of like a cabbage family. And so, of course, it's got the vitamin K, vitamin A, calcium, magnesium. I mean, all of your, as we know, when we start to boil dry with the water, we need to add a little more water. There we go. So the collards have the magnesium, the calcium, all of your green leafy vegetables. Like, you know, I have always, well, not always, but since I learned nutrition stuff 25 years ago, I always incorporate the dark leafy greens in a salad. Like, I just never, ever, ever, ever use iceberg lettuce. You know, it has its fun. It's fun and it's light, and but it's there's just absolutely no comparison when you look at the color of iceberg lettuce as compared to this, you know, this beautiful green here. So I have always used either spinach or kale, or, well, you can use a complete kale in a salad, but I don't usually. It's a little much, I think, you know, for a lot of people, just straight up kale. So I'll use chard or Swiss chard or spinach or the bok choys. The choys are really good too. So, you know, anything that's dark and leafy green is good. And I actually have the plantain cooking on the stove. I need to just turn that down. I thought I turned it down, but I didn't. And I can hear it. So we are working on the, rendering down the plantain from yesterday. So we have the collards on happening here. And, hi. Okay, so that looks really good. Like, just, and that would be probably good enough because there's enough nutrition in the collards for, you know, for everything. It's almost as good as kale. Okay, so we'll add a little bit more, get these leaves in there. And I've got a little bit of pepper here. I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper just to add color and flavor. I don't use a lot of pepper at a time, like red peppers and bell peppers. I like them in small amounts. I'm not a real fan unless they're super like roasted in the oven. That's another recipe, is to take your peppers and put them on a cookie sheet with a little bit of either olive oil or coconut oil, and to roast them, so that they're tender and a little bit brown. Well, not really brown, but cooked. They're really good like that. I don't do it very often because I'm not that good at it. There are certain things that I'm good at and a lot of things that I'm not, but that's okay. I cannot make a decent pancake for whatever reason. Okay, so next thing, we're going to add we spoke about these before, the beautiful shiitake mushrooms. And so when we're cooking a soup, we always want to make it as healthy as we can. And so the shiitakes, already washed, I'm breaking them up and putting them in here. They're quite chewy. These are fresh. They've been used for the immune system. They've been used as an antiviral. They've been investigated and used heavily for cancers. Specifically, the studies that I read were on prostate and breast cancer, that the shiitakes are really good for. And so it's always good to add something extra to your soup or whatever you're making to make it as healthy as possible. Because if you're going to eat something, it might as well be really healthy as well as taste good. And a lot of times really healthy things don't really taste that good. So I do try to combine them both. Yeah, shiitakes are also good for eczema, all kinds of really good healthy things. So I'll put an extra one in there. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of zucchini, not much, but just to get that extra nutrition, so that we've got an extra vegetable in there. So I'm not going to add very much because I really want to focus on the taste and the flavor of the collards. And so the zucchini's got lots of vitamins. It's got riboflavin, all these things that I know some of them. I don't know what all of them do. But zucchini has a lot more nutrition in it than what you would think. Okay, whoops, dropping it on the floor here. It's got potassium and magnesium. And I actually shouldn't add this. I'm not going to cook it too much more anyway, but I shouldn't add the zucchini too early because I don't really like it when it's all mushed up. I like zucchini more raw. But I wanted a little bit of extra flavor in here. And the zucchini's awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a zucchini salad later because it's a really good antioxidant as well. So zucchini's super healthy. So we're just going to let this carry on here a little bit. I'm going to try and push those mushrooms to the bottom because I want them more cooked than the zucchini. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, and we're going to add, I'm going to hold it up like this because it's drippy. These are the sun-dried tomatoes, and I do like the ones, like I've bought sun-dried tomatoes that are dry, like dried, and they just don't seem to have the same flavor. Maybe I'm just not rehydrating them well enough to get that flavor out. But these are the ones that come in the jar with the oil, and then what I do is I pour hot water over them, which is why they're in a little sieve with the drippy part. And yeah, I'm just going to set them here and chop them up. So I get the oil off because I'm not a fan of that oil at all, but I do like the flavor. So this is going to be sun-dried tomato on here too, and they're terrible little things to try and cut up because they just don't want to. They're pretty tough. They're tough, but the flavor is really good. Okay, I want to get these mushrooms down here. Pull the zucchini up towards the top because I put them in too soon. And then we have these lovely sun-dried tomatoes that we're going to add on top for extra flavor. Oh, there we go. And yeah, and so when this gets going and it starts to, let me see, oh, did I have anything else? Oh, yes, I do have something else. It's kind of a clean out the fridge Thursday. Is today Thursday? Today's Wednesday. Anyway, it's a clean out the fridge day. And I have some leftover beans. So I'm going to add them to the soup. I always like something a little hearty in the soup. And the other thing that we're going to add is coconut milk. We have a coconut milk here. So we're going to add that instead of water. And I have these funny little things. These are, people want to learn something new. These are black bean noodles that I got at Costco quite some time ago. And so I'm trying to get them out of the bag without spilling them everywhere. Because it's nice to have a noodle eat too. So they look like the straws of a broom. They feel like it too. But anyway, they add a really amazing flavor. So I'm just going to break these up and add those to it. I'm going to put them on the side until the mushrooms cook down a bit more, and then I will add the coconut milk. And yeah, and the yeah, so that's what it was. Himalayan sea salt. And I'm going to add some black pepper. And I'm just going to let this natural flavor of the collards and the sun-dried tomatoes start to take effect. The shiitakes have quite a strong flavor too. So possibly may add a little bit of veggie stock at the end, but I don't know. We'll see how this is. I really want it to be pure. Hi, Monique. How are you? Good morning. So we've got the, yeah, it looks really pretty with, of course, onions, celery, carrots, garlic scapes from last year. Super awesome. Sun-dried tomatoes, shiitake mushrooms, collards, beans and bean noodles. I tend to have this thing where when I think of something, it keeps repeating in my head. And so I was like, oh, I have bean noodles. Oh, I have beans. Well, let's add both. Anyway, okay, so we're on to the next thing. The next thing here. I'm going to get a clean cutting board. And I have this is really fun. I have a lemon. Oh my gosh, it just fell right out of my head. I'm going to cut it again, so because I used a little bit earlier. Okay, I have a cucumber. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to use half, and I'll be really happy when the garden cucumbers come out, fresh ones. So half a cucumber, and I have an avocado, and we're going to make a really fun dessert, actually, is what we're going to make. So, beautiful. You know, you never know. These guys are a surprise every time you open them. They're the kind of thing that they're not ripe, and then all of a sudden they're too ripe, or they look perfect, and they're all brown inside. So that's really pretty. I'm always happy when I hit the jackpot on a decent avocado. So what we're going to do is make a little dessert here with the magic bullet. So we're going to take the avocado and scoop it out. Wow, that is like the perfect avocado. And I'm going to do it the magic bullet to show you. I'm not really sure how much this thing is going to handle, so I'm just going to start with a little at a time, and I might have to do it a couple times. you know, sometimes the Vitamix is just so big and it's hard to get everything out of the bottom of it because of the way it's made. So, you know, you end up losing some. So sometimes I like this one, this little guy better. And because he is just little, the little magic bullet, I'm going to chop these up a little more than I normally would. So I've got, right now, half an avocado, about half a cup of cucumber. We're going to squeeze some lemon in. I'm going to guess that was like a tablespoon and a half of lemon. And we are going to, yeah, that's it. We're going to blend that up. Oh, I remember now. Yes, I need to pile things in a certain order. A little bit of maple syrup for sweetness. This original recipe is by Dr. Ellen Tart. She's an amazing person. Natural health consultant, iridology instructor. She is absolutely awesomely amazing. Ellen, actually her married name is Dr. Ellen Jensen. And she and her husband run Bernard Jensen, I think it's called Bernard Jensen International. And so this is her recipe. And she did this for us when we were in California, and it was just like so super awesome. So I'm just going to blend this up. That thing always shuts off kind of weird. And this, believe it or not, I'm going to put it in here with my thing. Look, isn't that amazing? It tastes like lemon meringue pie. I kid you not, lemon meringue pie. Now the other thing that we do with it, which you can either do, you can either add it to it while you're blending, or you can just put on top some coconut, shredded coconut. So I'm going to sprinkle that on top with a clean spoon. I'll set that there. Okay, so beautiful or what? Is that not an awesome recipe? Avocado, yeah. Well, I haven't been shopping much, so I haven't made very many recipes with avocados because I didn't want to go shopping. But I did a Quality Foods Delivers, and yeah, I still with this whole thing, I still haven't had the excitement of wanting to run through the store and pick everything out and deal with all that. So I had a delivery. I have avocados. Okay, see, this is rendering down with the mushrooms, and you can see the zucchini is not cooked yet. Oh, hey, look at these guys. Because of the steam, they're wilting. I didn't know that. I didn't know they would do that. These are the black bean noodles. So, yeah, so this is just rendering down into the mushrooms cooked. And so we just add our coconut milk, and that's about it. So this is a brand new one. Thank you, Jane. This coconut milk is thanks to Jane. Oh, I think that this particular kind, I'm not used to this kind. I use the silk products a lot, like the silk almond and coconut products. I don't usually use this So Delicious. But anyway, I have it. And so I'm not used to shaking these up before I use them. So I'm going to add the coconut milk here just to add protein and all the beautiful things that coconut milk does, and give that a stir. And I think you guys can see that okay. And more coconut milk. And so I'm just going to let that simmer for probably on very low, because I don't want the zucchini too cooked. for about 10 more minutes for the noodles to soften up. These things have such a funny little lid on them. Okay. Put that on high. Okay, so you can see that. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Okay, so that's it. That is it. Amazing. This is like gold. Okay, so you're, oh my gosh, what was I going to say? So for the avocados, they've got all the omega-3s, of course, right? So we know that they have the omega-3s. They've got that the really good fatty acids. They've got vitamin B6. They've got vitamin C. Oh my gosh, they just are so good for you, right? They're anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. They're just, avocados are so good. I mean, everybody already knows all that stuff anyways. And so it doesn't really, you know, I don't really have to tell you how good avocados are for you. They're just awesome. And the cucumbers. So it's avocado cucumber. So the cucumber has potassium. It's really good for lowering blood pressure. They have a weird thing called curcubiticins or something that they're investigating for cancer in cucumbers. I've never been too much of a fan of cucumbers in the winter because, you know, they're vegetables. These kind are just not really winter things. But apparently it's worth, it's still worth purchasing. It's still worth purchasing, even if they aren't organic, because of the properties. The cucumbers are really, really have a lot of healing properties in them. They have been used a lot for in cancer nutrition. So, you know, it's worth buying. And apparently they're anti-inflammatory as well. So I'm going to go with more cucumbers. But I grew my own seedlings this year. So happy. And I have a lot of cucumber seedlings. So I'm hoping to have them. And I don't know if you can freeze them, but I'm going to find out. And maybe you can just put them in little chunks and freeze them so that I can use them in this kind of stuff all winter. So yeah, so this guy here is coming along. Soup of the day, black bean noodle collard soup. What should I call it? You guys can help. I'm a little behind on my YouTube posting. Okay, so yeah, so cheers, enjoy, and I hope that you really enjoyed the black bean collard coconut milk soup here with the beautiful garlic scapes. See? And we have new people on. Hi, Karen. And we just made a avocado cucumber lemon, which tastes exactly like lemon meringue pudding with coconut on top. So that's it. Oh, I did have one more thing. Oh yeah. I always think of something extra to add. We were talking about probiotics earlier this week, and I think I have shown this before, but if you need probiotics, and we all need probiotics, never mind that statement, but like if you were to purchase probiotics in a pill form or a capsule form or anything else, this here is a natural source. This is it's called Wild Brine, and it's probiotic live shots. And this is basically kimchi juice from the fermented kimchi. And you just have a little, like a half ounce of that or a tablespoon every day. And it's an inexpensive way of getting your probiotics. And it is, it's really awesome and super healthy. So yeah, so different form of probiotics. Anyways, okay, we're all going to go out into the sunshine, head into the garden, and nice to see you, Jeanette. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you'll have to start at the beginning and hear all about it. Okay. Yeah, right. Oh, that's awesome, Monique. Yeah, for sure. Try that. It's really, really good. And you could try it. It's a little fibrous with celery, but it could be done with celery as well. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Have a really great day. Oh, check out my YouTube channel, georginacyr.com, and subscribe.